There's been an explosion of new electric models in the last few years, but there is still one type of car that's really underserved by electric vehicles, and that is the 7-seater class. Peugeot, however, may just have the answer.
This is the Peugeot E-5008. Now, I'll say up front, you can get this with petrol engines, you get a mild hybrid or a plug-in hybrid, so Peugeot is covering all bases on that front, and fair enough, that's all well and good. We're focusing on the all-electric one here. This is a 73 kilowatt-hour Peugeot E-5008, complete with front-wheel drive. It's got a WLTP range of 311 miles, but if you wait till next year, there's going to be a four-wheel drive version with a bit more power, and there will also be a long range, which is going to have over 400 miles of WLTP range, so that is all good too. Now, prices for this version, which I think is going to be a big seller, so this is going to start at about £49,000, going up to 52.5 for the top spec GT model that we have got here. But the key thing is that this is a 7-seater, so let's check out the bit that matters.
The E-5008 is a 7-seater as standard, and it really is brilliant inside. Useful touches like the storage under the boot floor, with a cubby for the load bay cover and still space for your cables, and that's accessible even with 7 seats in use. It really does make a big difference.
So it's worth pointing out that the 5008 is 4.8 metres long, so it's very similar size to the Skoda Kodiaq and Tesla Model Y. So it's hardly small, let's face it, but also usefully more compact than other big 7-seaters like the Kia EV9, which is one of very few other electric 7-seaters. It's also much more expensive, the Kia. So I really like the fact that Peugeot's got so much space in here for what is, by 7-seat standards, reasonably compact car. Like the boot is absolutely massive. Look at that, it's huge. And actually the load lip's not too bad as well, so it's all pretty practical. And you can actually get these rear seats up. It's all manual. They're pretty easy too. You do have to sort of stretch in a bit. There you go. So that's not too bad, is it?
Access to the back seats is good too, as the outer middle seats slide and tilt with one hand.
I am hardly balletic, but I can squeeze myself in here behind this middle row, and I can even sit here. It's not too bad, I have to say. I mean, you're not going to want to sit back here for a long time, especially if you're a taller adult. I'm 5'7" though, and I'm not too bad. You do sacrifice a little bit of leg room, because you do need to have these seats forward if you're going to get an adult back here, but do you know what? It's not too bad. I'm more bothered by the fact that I've got no aircon back here. I find that a bit frustrating, especially because I know I own dogs as well, and I know lots of people who buy these cars often have dogs in the boots, and it's really nice having aircon in the boot. You do get a tiny cup holder that's so shallow it's pretty useless, and that's about it. But it's not too bad still for short journeys and occasional stuff with the kids. It's going to be great. No Isofix though. No Isofix back here. You only get 2 sets of Isofix in the 5008, and those are in these 2 middle seats.
Speaking of which, the middle seats slide in a 60-40 split and recline too, plus you get aircon controls and vents back there in every E-5008.
But wait, what is that I hear you saying? But where are the 3 individual seats of the previous 5008 with the 3 individual Isofix that so many buyers really loved about it? Well, yeah, they're not here, are they? So I'm told by Peugeot that customers, the feedback was that they wanted a car that was a bit more SUV-like. I know, sorry. And also that they would rather have more comfortable, wider outer seats and give up the 3 individual seats for that. I have to say I'm a bit disappointed, because I thought the 5008 and the C5 Aircross were particularly good for being kind of SUV on the outside and MPV on the inside. I thought that was a really nice thing. But there you have it. Apparently I'm wrong, and this is what customers want, and that's fine, because it is a really good middle row of seats. You get nice practical backings to these seats that are wiped clean. You get a centre armrest and all of that. So there you go. It is very nice, but yes, the 3 individual seats and Isofix have gone. I suppose only sales will tell whether Peugeot was right.
The 5008's dash and much of its exterior styling is taken straight from the E-3008 that shares the same platform. It really is a smart looking cabin, the seats are comfy, and you get wireless CarPlay and Android Auto on a big curved touchscreen on every trim. It may take some time to get used to the little steering wheel and high-set driver's readout, but the cabin is a genuinely comfy and smart looking place that also carries on the functional theme with cubbies galore.
I've already mentioned that this shares a platform with the E-3008, and you'll be unsurprised to find that it drives quite a lot like the E-3008. I gave the 3008 a bit of a middling to bad review recently. You can check that out on the CarGurus UK YouTube channel, because it doesn't really drive in any way sportily. It's not that fun to drive and all of that. That does go for the 5008 as well, but because this is a big 7-seater, it's not a, fastbacky sport SUV type thing, that's fine, isn't it? That doesn't matter. In fact, I actually think the 5008 drive pretty well. It is a heavy car, so it's 2.2 tonnes, and you do feel that in the ride. So this car is on 20-inch wheels, and I don't think that is helping, because I drove this out on the launch, and I didn't think it was too bad, and that was on 19, so that might make a bit of a difference. But you do get that sort of high-frequency, scruffy road surface. You definitely get a bit of vibration and noise through the cabin, so you do notice that, but it's not terrible. Plenty of body lean, but it's all controlled, it's fine. It's just fine to drive. 9.7 seconds to 62, so it is not fast. But, I mean, I've spent a lot of time on the motorway in this, driving around country roads and town, and it's not bothered me. It's fine, you just get used to it. I've even had it in Eco, which does kill the throttle response quite noticeably. And if you do want a faster one, then there is that 4-wheel drive version coming next year. I was driving this car around last night, actually, in the dark, because this screen is very in your face. It's right there. It's very nice, curved screen. It does feel almost like you're in some kind of driving simulator, or like you're literally sort of driving a touchscreen around, because you can't see the front of the car unless you sit really high. And also with this very ambient, so ambient, the lighting around here, it's really in your face. All of this kind of concave trim and the screen, so it's quite a peculiar experience. Anyway, brake regen, 3 settings on the wheel. None of them is a full 1-pedal drive mode, but it does get heavier. They're all quite close together, but I just like having brake regen on the wheel, so I'm pleased that Peugeot's done that. Also good news that you can tow up to a tonne with it. I know that's underwhelming. More important is that it means that you can get a factory fit tow bar, so you can get bike racks on the back easily, which is really useful. Real world range, I think you're realistically going to see probably about 250 to about 300, depending on conditions. So do bear that in mind. You're not really going to get anywhere near that WLTP range unless it's summer and you're in much slower driving.
As for charging, you've got your socket in the rear wing and rapid charging of up to 160 kilowatts, which is good for 62 miles of range in 10 minutes in ideal conditions, or budget about 30 minutes for a 10 to 80% top-up.
The E5008 is definitely benefiting from a lack of competition in the electric 7-seater class. There's no doubt about that. The Mercedes EQB is smaller yet more expensive. The Kia EV9 is so much more expensive and quite a lot bigger, so it's not really a rival, to be fair. Tesla has literally just introduced a 7-seat Model Y, which will be a direct competitor for this, and I'm sure it will steal some sales from Peugeot for lots of obvious reasons. But I haven't sat in the Tesla. I don't know what the space in that third row is like in there, so I can't really comment. For now, I think the Peugeot, given the packaging, it's really clever, lots of really neat little details, some really competitive monthly finance deals, not a bad range. It's got a lot going for it, this car. I think Peugeot's really thought about it carefully. And also, it makes so much more sense than the 3008, can I just say that? I really like it. In fact, I think right now, this is the best electric 7-seater out there.
Head to cargurus.co.uk for a whole host of fantastic used cars, including loads of great electric options. And while you're here, please do like the video, subscribe to the CarGurus UK YouTube channel, and turn your notifications on so that you don't miss any of our videos.